that we weren't going to be able to get as many classes in, and it did affect my schedule and my class choices in the beginning of the year. But as we progressed, I realized that, especially for AP classes, it was a great help. We actually had a lot more time to have class discussions, especially in English class. We would start a discussion and we would have 80 minutes to actually develop our ideas instead of just being cut off at 40 minutes. So I felt that it was actually a great help, and I do enjoy block scheduling.
Well, I had the same doubts about block scheduling in the beginning as Shannon did. At the end of last year, we handed in our tentative schedules for this year, and I was forced to narrow down some of my class choices. I had to drop an AP class and an elective so I could fit 2 AP classes in this year. I mean, it was kind of a setback not being able to take exactly what I wanted to. I mean, it wasn't major. I was just forced to pick what I really wanted to do over the other thing. But, I mean, as a progression this year in classes, actually, some classes it works better than others, I would say. There's certain classes where you do a lot of sitting and it's not as hands-on as it was said that it was going to be. But as Shannon mentioned, in some of the classes, discussions are able to go on for longer times, but in others you are actually limited, and we didn't get as far as usual.
Depends on the class and the teacher.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ed LaFurge. I'm a sophomore at Brook Township High School, and I'm here with 2 parents today regarding block scheduling. Here with me today I have Mrs. Staub and Mrs. Noviton, who both have children in the Brook Township School District. Mrs. Staub, how many children do you have in the school district?
I have one currently, a sophomore at Brook Memorial High School, and I have one that just graduated last year, that's in college this year.
How about you, Mrs. Noviton?
I have 2. One's here in Brick, he's a sophomore, and I have another son who's in 4th grade over at Drum Point.
Now, how do you guys feel about the block scheduling that we currently have this year? I know coming into it there were a lot of parents who were up in the air not knowing how well their students were doing it. Mrs. Staub, how do you feel about it?
I'm very happy with it. I was definitely for going into it. I know children that attend Mondon, and they were very happy with it. I looked into it because I wanted to make sure this was going to be good for my son, and he is doing very well with it.
How about you, Mrs. Noviton? How's your son doing with this block scheduling?
I believe he likes it. He hasn't complained. He has less classes to concentrate on, so he can give more time to those classes instead of being so spread out.
Now, I believe that your son's a sophomore here at Brook Township High School, correct?
Yes.
Now, last year, I know as myself, because I'm a sophomore, we had a modified AB block to where we had 2 45-minute classes in the morning and then 3 80-minute blocks in the afternoon. And it was 3 days a week we would have what they called an A schedule, and then 2 days a week we had a B schedule, and then the following week it would reverse. How did your son do with that type of block compared to the 4x4 we have now?
I think last year's was a little more confusing, the different, one set of classes one day, another set of classes the other day. So, we would ask him, do you have homework today? And he would say no.
Yeah, personally, I think it's easier to, we only have 4 classes to keep up with.
Right.
Instead of, last year where we had all this confusion and craziness to where,
Right.
We weren't
And
sure.
6 or 7 classes.
6 or 7 classes where you weren't sure what you're going to get, and now you have, okay, I have gym this half and, this elective, and an
Right.
academic. So you know where you have to focus on, and then the new semester starts, and you have another 4 classes to focus
Right.
on.
Well, then you don't have as much to worry about when you have tests, for your finals. You've only got 3 or 4 instead of 6 or 7. So that's a lot easier too, work-wise.
Right, I have to agree with that one. As parents, I understand that college is real important for your kids. How do you think that the block scheduling prepares them for college?
I think the block prepares them more so because they're used to being in one class for a longer period of time and concentrating just with that one subject and that one teacher, as opposed to switching in and out and in a little 45-minute period, maybe wasting time coming in and coming out and settling down, whereas now they're settled down and they're concentrating for a longer period of time, and I think it prepares them more so.
Ms. Noviton, how about you?
Yeah, I think so, because isn't this more of a college type of schedule for
Yes.
them now?